Standard 8, General Science, Chapter number 3, Force and Pressure. Introduction. Can you recall? What is a force? A stationary object on which no force is acting remains stationary. An object in motion continues to move with the same speed and direction when no force is acting on the object. This is Newton's first law of motion. Observe. Observe the pictures in the figures. Contact and non-contact forces. In the figure, a car moves in forward direction when a man applies force from behind. A reluctant dog is being pulled by his master and a boy playing football is kicking the ball away. What do you observe from these? A force acts on two bodies through an interaction between them. As seen in the figure, iron nails get attracted to the pole of a magnet due to magnetic force. A coconut is falling from the coconut tree. Objects are attracted to the earth due to the force of gravity. When a comb gets rubbed against hair, small pieces of paper kept on a table get attracted to the comb. The comb has an electrostatic charge and there is an induced opposite charge on the pieces of paper and the pieces stick to the comb. In the figure, a force is seen to act through a direct contact of the objects or via one more object. Such a force is called contact force. In the figure, a force is applied between two objects even if the two objects are not in contact. Such a force is called non-contact force. Muscular force is an example of contact force and is applied to objects with the help of our muscles. It is applied in several cases such as lifting, pushing, pulling. On the contrary, forces like magnetic force, gravitational force, electrostatic force act without a contact. Therefore, these are the examples of non-contact forces. When a ball is kept on a table and pushed a little, it moves ahead and gets slow and stops. A car running on a plain road travels some distance and stops after the engine is switched off. This is because of the force of friction between the ground surface and the object in motion. In the absence of frictional force, the object would have remained in motion. Frictional force is very useful in daily life. While walking, we push the ground behind with our feet. In the absence of friction, we will slip and will not be able to walk. All the objects in motion have a frictional force acting on them, which is acting in the direction opposite to the direction of motion. You must have seen that one tends to slip over banana peel on the street. Similarly, one can slip due to mud. Both these examples occur due to reduced friction. Use your brain power. Make a list of some more examples in which contact and non-contact forces are applied. Write the types of force. Try this. Take two plastic bottles with rectangular shape. Close their openings by fitting the lids tightly. Keep two small bar magnets on them and fix them neatly using a sticking tape. Fill a big plastic tray with water and leave the two bottles floating with magnets at the top. Take one bottle near the other. If the north pole of the magnet is near the south pole of the other magnet, the bottles will head towards each other because unlike poles attract each other. Observe what will happen when the directions of the bottles are changed. We can observe change in the motion of the bottles without any direct contact. This means that there exists a non-contact force between the two magnets. Use your brain power. You have learnt about static electricity in the previous standard. Electrostatic force is a non-contact force. To verify this, which experiment will you perform? balanced and unbalanced force. Try this. Take a cardboard box, tie thick string to its two sides and keep it on a smooth table as shown in the figure. Take the strings on both sides of the table. Tie weighing pans to the two ends. Keep equal masses in both the pans. The box does not move on the table. If more mass is kept in one of the pans than in the other, the box starts moving in the direction of that pan. Equal gravitational force acts on both the pans when equal masses are kept in them. This means balanced forces act on the box with effective force equal to 0 as these are acting in opposite directions. On the contrary, if more mass is kept in one pan than in the other, the box starts moving in the direction of the pan with more mass. When unequal forces are applied to the box on the two sides, an unbalanced force acts on the box, resulting in imparting motion to the box. Children playing tug of war pull the rope in their respective directions. If the pull of the force is equal on the two sides, the rope does not move. If the force is more on one side, the rope moves in that direction. This means that initially the two forces are balanced. The rope moves in the direction of higher force when the forces become unbalanced. Let us see one more example. When big grain storage container is required to slide on the ground, it becomes easier if two persons push it rather than one person. When the force is applied by both in the same direction, the movement is easy. You may have experienced this. What do we understand from this example? If several forces are applied on an object in the same direction, a force equal to their addition acts on that object. If two forces are applied on one object in directions opposite to each other, a force equal to their difference acts on the object. A force is expressed in magnitude and direction. Force is a vector quantity. When a force is applied on a stationary object, it moves, its speed and direction change. Similarly, a force is required to stop an object in motion. An object can change its shape due to force. While kneading a dough made from flour, a dough changes its shape when a force is applied. A potter applies a force in a specific direction while shaping the pot. Rubber, when stretched, expands. There are many such examples. If more than one force are acting on a body, then the effect on the body is due to the net force. Inertia. We have seen that an object changes its state of motion due to force. In the absence of a force, objects exhibit a tendency to remain in the existing state of motion. Let us see the following examples. Try this. Activity 1. Take a postcard and keep it on a glass. Keep a 5 rupee coin on it. Now, skillfully push the card. The coin straight away falls in the glass. Have you ever done this? Activity 2. Hang a half a kg mass from a stand. With a string 1, tie another string 2 to the mass and keep it hanging. Now pull the string 2 with a jerk. The string 2 breaks, but the mass does not fall. Heavy mass does not move. Now pull the string 2 slowly. The string 1 breaks and the mass falls down. This is because of the tension developed in the string 2 due to the mass. Types of inertia. 1. Inertia of the state of rest. An object in the state of rest cannot change its state of rest due to its inherent property. This property is called the inertia of the state of rest. 2. Inertia of motion. The inherent property of an object due to which its state of motion cannot change is called its inertia of motion. For example, a revolving electric fan continues to revolve even after it is switched off. Passengers sitting in the running bus get a jerk in the forward direction if the bus suddenly stops. 3. Directional inertia. The inherent property of an object due to which the object cannot change the direction of its motion is called directional inertia. For example, if a vehicle in motion along a straight line suddenly turns, the passengers sitting in it are thrown opposite to the direction of turning. Always remember, the tendency of an object to remain in its existing state is called its inertia. This is why an object in stationary state remains in the same state and an object in motion remain in the state of motion in the absence of an external force. Pressure. You must have observed the tires of two-wheelers and four-wheelers getting pressurized. The air filling machine has a pressure indicating dial or a digital meter showing the digital reading of pressure. The machine fills the pressure to a certain value. You are aware that a force has to be applied for filling air in the bicycle tire with a hand pump. By applying force, air pressure is increased and then the air is pushed into the tire. Are force and pressure related? Activity 3. Take some sharp-pointed nails and push them into a wooden plank by hammering on their heads. Now, take a nail and hold it with its head on the plank and hammer it down from the pointed end. When pressing the drawing pins into a drawing board, they get into the board easily. By applying a force using the thumb, one can push the pins into the board. On the contrary, while pressing ordinary pins with a thumb, the thumb may get hurt. What does the simple experiment tell? The nail easily penetrates into wood from its pointed end. From this, you will notice that when a force is applied on the head of the nail, it is easy to hammer it into the plank. Use your brain power. It is easy to cut vegetables, fruits with a sharp knife. A blunt knife does not work here. Why does this happen? The force exerted perpendicularly on a unit area is called pressure. Pressure is equal to force upon area on which the force is applied. Presently, we are considering only the force acting on an area in a direction perpendicular to it. Unit of pressure. The SI unit of force is Newton, N. Area is measured in m square. Therefore, the SI unit of pressure is N upon m square. It is known as Pascal, PA. In atmospheric science, the unit of pressure is 1 bar is equal to 10 raised to 5 PA. Pressure is a scalar quantity. If area increases, pressure reduces for the same force, and if the area decreases, the pressure increases for the same force. For example, due to natural adaptation, the bottom surfaces of camels' feet are broad. Hence, the camel's weight is exerted on a large area and the pressure on the sand is reduced. This is why camels' feet do not penetrate into the sand and it becomes easy to walk. Pressure on solids. Air pressure is exerted on all the objects kept in air. When a weight is kept on a solid, pressure is exerted on it. This pressure depends on the value of the weight and the contact area between the two. Try this. Do the activity as depicted in the figure. What is seen? Use your brain power. You must have seen a vegetable vendor carrying a basket on her head. She keeps a twisted piece of cloth on the head, below the basket. How does it help? We cannot stand at one place for a long time. How then can we sleep on a place for 8 and odd hours? For skiing on ice, why are long flat ski used? Pressure of liquid. Try this. Activity 1. Take a plastic bottle. Take a 10 centimeter long piece of a glass tube on which a rubber balloon can be fitted. Warm up one end of the glass tube and gently push in the bottle at about 5 centimeter from the bottom. To avoid water leakage, apply molten wax on the side of the glass tube. Now, fill water slowly in the bottle and see how the balloon inflates. What is observed? The pressure of water acts on the side of the bottle as well. Activity 2. Take a plastic bottle. Pierce it with a thick needle at the points 1, 2, 3 as shown in the figure. Fill water in the bottle up to full height. As shown in the figure, water jets will be seen emerging and projecting out. The water jet emerging from the hole at the top will fall closer to the bottle. The jet from the lowest hole falls farthest from the bottle. Also, jets coming out from the two holes at the same level fall at the same distance from the bottle. What is understood from this? At any one level, the liquid pressure is the same. Also, the pressure increases as the depth of the liquid increases. Gas pressure. If a balloon is inflated by filling air by mouth, it inflates on all sides. If a pinhole is created in the balloon, air leaks out and the balloon does not inflate fully. It is realized that, like a liquid, gas also exerts pressure on the wall of the container in which it is enclosed. All gases and liquids have a common name, fluid. Fluids in a container exert pressures from within on the walls and the bottom of the container. A fluid enclosed in a container exerts its pressure equally in all directions at a point within the fluid. Atmospheric pressure. Air surrounds the Earth from all sides. This layer of air is called atmosphere. The atmosphere exists to about 16 km height. It further extends up to about 400 km in a very dilute form. The pressure created due to air is called the atmospheric pressure. Imagine that a very long hollow cylinder of unit cross-sectional area is standing on the surface of the Earth and it contains air. Weight of this air is the force applied in the direction of the center of the Earth. This means that atmospheric pressure is the ratio of this weight divided by the area of the surface. The air pressure at the sea level is called 1 atmosphere pressure. Air pressure decreases as one goes up in height from the sea level. 1 atmosphere is equal to 101 into 10 raised to 3 Pa is equal to 1 bar is equal to 10 raised to 3 m bar. 1 m bar is equal to 10 raised to 2 Pa, hectopascal. Atmospheric pressure is specified in the units m bar or hectopascal, HPA. The atmospheric pressure at a point in air is equal from all sides. How is this pressure created? If air exists in a closed container, the air molecules in random motion continuously hit the walls of the container. In this interaction, a force is exerted on the walls of the container. Pressure is created due to this force. We constantly bear the atmospheric pressure on our heads. However, the cavities in our body are also filled with air and arteries and veins are filled with blood. Therefore, we do not get crushed underwater and due to atmospheric pressure as the pressure is balanced. The Earth's atmospheric pressure decreases with height from the sea level as shown in the figure. Use your brain power. At the sea level, the atmospheric pressure 101 into 10 raised to 3 Pa is acting on a tabletop of size 1m2. Under such a heavy pressure, why doesn't the tabletop crumble down? Buoyant force. Take a plastic bottle and fix the lid tightly. Now place it in water and see. It will float on water. Try and push it into the water. Even when pushed, it continues to float. This experiment can also be done with a plastic hollow ball. Now, fill the bottle with water to the fullest capacity and close the lid and release in water. The bottle will float inside the water. Why does this happen? The empty plastic bottle floats on the surface of water. On the contrary, the bottle full of water floats inside water but does not go to the bottom. The weight of the empty bottle is negligible as compared with the weight of the water inside. Such a bottle with water neither floats on the surface nor does it go to the bottom. This means the force due to gravity acting downwards, Fg, must have been balanced by an opposing force in the upward direction, Fb, on the bottle filled with water. This force must have originated from the water surrounding the bottle. The upward force acting on the object in water or other fluid or gas is called buoyant force, Fb. Use your brain power. While pulling a bucket from a well, the bucket full of water immersed fully in water appears to weigh less than when it has been pulled out of water. Why? Try this. Take a piece of thin aluminium sheet and dip it in water in a bucket. What do you observe? Now, shape the same piece of aluminium into a small boat and place it on the surface of water. It floats, isn't it? An iron nail sinks in water, but why does the massive steel ship float on it? When an object is dipped in a liquid, the buoyant force acts on it and hence it appears that the weight of the object is reduced. It becomes easier to swim in seawater than in fresh water. This is because the density of seawater is higher than the density of fresh water, due to salts dissolved in a seawater. In this book, you have seen that lemon sinks in a glass filled with water, but it floats when we stir in 2 spoons of salt in the water. In salty water, the buoyant force exceeds the gravitational force. What is understood from these examples? Buoyant force depends on 2 factors. 1. Volume of the object. The buoyant force is more if the volume of the dipping object is more. 2. Density of liquid. More the density of liquid, more is the force of buoyancy. Do you know how is it decided that an object left in liquid will get sink in the liquid, will float on the surface or will float inside the liquid? 1. The object floats if the buoyant force is larger than its weight. 2. The object sinks if the buoyant force is smaller than its weight. 3. The object floats inside the liquid if the buoyant force is equal to its weight. Which forces are unbalanced in the above cases? Archimedes' principle. Try this. Take a long rubber band and cut it at one point. At one of its ends, tie a clean washed stone or a 50-gram weight as shown in the figure. Now hold the other end of the rubber band and make a mark there. Keep the stone hanging in air and measure the length of the rubber band from the stone to the mark made earlier. Now take water in a pot and hold the rubber band at such a height that the stone sinks in it. Again, measure the length of the rubber band up to the mark. What is observed? This length is shorter than the earlier length. While dipping the stone in water, length of the stretched rubber gets slowly reduced and is minimum when it sinks completely. What could be the reason for a shorter length of the rubber band in water? When the stone is sunk in water, the buoyant force acts on it in the upward direction. The weight of the stone acts downwards. Therefore, the force which acts on it in the downward direction is effectively reduced. How much is the magnitude of the buoyant force? Is it the same for all the liquids? Is the buoyant force of equal magnitude for all objects? The answer to these questions are embodied in Archimedes' principle. This principle states that when an object is partially or fully immersed in a fluid, a force of buoyancy acts on it in the upward direction. This force is equal to the weight of the fluid displaced by the object. Use your brain power. Explain the observations in the earlier experiments according to the Archimedes principle. Introduction to the scientist. Archimedes was a Greek scientist and a mathematician with sharp intelligence. He found out the value of P by numerical calculations. His knowledge of levers, pulleys, wheels and physics was useful to the Greek army in fighting against the Roman army. He became famous due to his work in geometry and mechanics. When he entered a bathtub for taking bath, he discovered the above principle by observing the overflowing water. He came out in the same state shouting, "Eureka! Eureka!" meaning, "I found it! I found it!" The use of Archimedes' principle is very wide. This principle has been used in the construction of ships and submarines. The instruments such as lactometer, hygrometer are based on this principle. Density of substance and relative density. Density is equal to mass upon volume. The SI unit of density is kilogram upon m raised to 3. The property density is very useful in deciding the purity of the substance. The relative density of a substance is expressed with respect to the density of water. Relative density is equal to density of substance upon density of water. This being a ratio of two equal physical quantities, it has no unit. Relative density of a substance is called its specific gravity. Solved examples. Example 1. The area of the bottom of a tiffin box is 0.25 m square and weight is 50 N. Calculate the pressure exerted by the box on the shelf. Given, area is equal to 0.25 m square. Weight of the box is equal to 50 N. Pressure is equal to force upon area is equal to 50 N upon 0.25 m square is equal to 200 N upon m square. Example 2. Calculate the relative density of iron if the density of water is 10 raised to 3 kg upon m cube and the density of iron is 7.85 into 10 raised to 3 kg upon m cube. Given, density of water is equal to 10 raised to 3 kg upon m cube. Density of iron is equal to 7.85 into 10 raised to 3 kg upon m cube. Relative density of iron is equal to density of iron upon density of water is equal to 7.85 into 10 raised to 3 kg upon m cube upon 10 raised to 3 kg upon m cube is equal to 7.85. Example 3. The area of the tip of a screw is 0.5 m square and its weight is 0.5 N. Calculate the pressure in PA exerted by the screw on a wooden plank. Given, area is equal to 0.5 into 10 raised to minus 6 m square. Weight of the screw is equal to 0.5 N. Pressure is equal to weight upon area is equal to 0.5 N upon 0.5 into 10 raised to minus 6 m square is equal to 10 raised to 6 N upon m square is equal to 10 raised to 6 Pa. Example 4. Mass of a block of metal is 10 kg and its dimensions are length 50 cm, breadth 10 cm, height 20 cm. See figure. If the metal block is placed on the following surface on the table, find out on which of the surface ABCD, CDEF and BCFG will the pressure exerted on the table be maximum. Given weight of the block is equal to mg is equal to 10 into 9.8 N is equal to 98 N. For the surface ABCD, length is equal to 50 cm, height is equal to 20 cm. Area is equal to 50 cm into 20 cm is equal to 1000 cm square is equal to 0.1 m square. Pressure is equal to weight upon area is equal to 98 upon 0.1 is equal to 980 Pa. For the surface CDEF, length is equal to 50 cm, breadth is equal to 10 cm. Area is equal to 50 cm into 10 cm is equal to 500 cm square is equal to 0.05 m square. Pressure is equal to weight upon area is equal to 9800 upon 5 is equal to 1960 Pa. For the surface BCFG, height is equal to 20 cm, breadth is equal to 10 cm. Area is equal to 20 cm into 10 cm is equal to 200 cm square is equal to 0.02 m square. Pressure is equal to weight upon area is equal to 98 N upon 0.02 m square is equal to 4900 Pa. Maximum pressure, hence smaller the area of contact, larger is the pressure. Example 5. A piece of marble tile weighs 100 gram in air. If its density is 2.5 g upon cc, what will be its weight in water? Given weight in air is equal to 100 gram, density is equal to 2.5 g upon cc. Therefore, volume is equal to 100 gram upon 2.5 g upon cc is equal to 40 cc. Therefore, according to Archimedes' principle, when the piece is dipped in water, water of volume equal to the volume of the piece, that is 40 cc, will be displaced. The loss in the weight of the piece will be equal to the weight of the displaced water, 40 g. Therefore, weight in water is equal to 100 g minus 40 g is equal to 60 g.